Welcome to ATP Customs. Well, it's shortbox challenge time again. We're back to looking at this thing. And what I am attempting to do is actually make this thing running and drivable just so I can drive it onto the trailer and be able to move it around when I get it to the shop. Which means I got to give it a little bit of a tune-up since it's barely will even turn over, but it is flashing. And what we were told was this thing runs really rough. So we have new plugs, we have new cap and rotor, and I forgot my can of gas today, so this is going to be a couple of part video that I squeezed together. But I noticed that on the plug wires, a mouse has definitely got the best of them and been chewing on the plug wires, so I guess I'm going to have to go buy some plug wires too. And the header gaskets are absolute garbage, so are the headers, but I'm not a fan of this exhaust anyway after I kind of heard it running. And the oil is horrendous looking. Look at that. Nice and brown, and it is full. By the looks of that, the oil pan is full right up to the crank. So that's not looking too good. There's a pretty good chance I am pulling the motor and doing another motor in it. But we got to find out anyway. Why not? And I know I said I was going to stick with small block in this one, but if I have to pull the motor, the only motor I have that's readily available and easy to get running is a big block. Since I have more big blocks than small blocks, strangely. But it's got a new alternator on it, so I guess we should try and fire it up. So I'm going to give it a little tune-up and see how it goes. And then we'll get to the shop and show you where I'm at on the 69 Chevy shortbox. So that's not good. That's been draining like that for a half hour. Got a pretty good feeling we're changing the motor in this thing. That's pretty ugly. Pretty much the only thing this truck has going for it is that it's a shortbox frame. Everything else on it is completely toast. Well, that's not true. It's got new plugs and plug wires and cap and rotor now. Oh wait, it's got the awesome turbine wheels too, which I love. Oil filter doesn't want to come off, completely crushed, trying to get it off. So, we are definitely stripping this down to the frame, I guess. I did just notice something that I can't remember if I've mentioned in one of the other videos. Did you see that power steering bracket? That whole thing has been welded. That is a crazy amount of welding done on that bracket. Can't say I've ever seen that before. That's what I love about these old trucks. You always discover really cool stuff like that. Well, I got all new oil in it. Threw some fuel in the tank. The plugs changed, wires changed, cap and rotor. Threw some fuel in the carb, and I see it's dripping there already. And we got a new battery. I guess we'll see what happens. Probably take me a moment to get fuel all the way up there, if it'll actually work. Guess I need more fuel. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, we're alive! No knocks or nothing. A little smoky. Better than I thought. Holy. I'm amazed that that motor is alive. Try and get it idle and then we'll see if it'll move. There we go. Now it's smoking. Yeehaw. White smoke. smoke going out of the little vent over there. But it's alive! It's alive! I'm so excited! Well, one of the fuel lines was leaking fuel all over the place, so I had to tighten that up. Look at that. That's the oil that came out of it. It's like chocolate milk. Let's see if it'll actually start on its own without me putting fuel in it. Wow. Look at that, it idles. Got one flat tire that won't hold air. I think that means we should see if it moves. I really just wanted to see if I could make this thing drive out of here on its own. I don't know if that's possible. Oh, we got no drive shaft. You can hear the drive shaft flopping around under there. So I guess we're not driving it out of here. But it is running. I can't believe it's running. I actually didn't think this thing was going to run at all. Smoke's calming down a bit. The other side. Only one side. Well, even though there's a cloud of smoke. Oh yeah, there's the drive shaft that just flopped out. I can see it laying on the ground. But even though it's got a cloud of smoke, it's running. That's so awesome. Let's go to the shop and I'll show you what stage I'm at on the 69 C10. Okay, we are back at the shop, checking out the 69 C10 short box, the blown big block build. See where I'm at on this. I have all the front suspension out of it. I've been cleaning up the frame, just using a 5-inch wire wheel on a Makita grinder. It's a lot of work, but it's got to be done. It's either that or take it to the sandblasters, and they're 160 bucks an hour. So I just putter away at it, half hour here and there when I can. Had to blow a bunch of bolts out with the torch to get all the cross member out. And still have to do all the inside of the frame. But Mr. White ordered a $40 Amazon kit that is some kind of sandblaster that you hook onto your pressure washer. I have never heard of such a thing, never seen it, but it's on its way. And we're going to try it out. If it actually works, sure would be handy to get all those inside spots that I really don't feel like grinding. If not, I'm going to have to get in there and do it all. And all of these mounts I actually haven't cleaned up yet because they're not staying. I just discovered a new kit last night as I was searching forums and stuff. I've never heard of this website called Porterbuilt, and they make, by the looks of it, some really awesome parts. I haven't looked up reviews on them, but they look like they make some really cool stuff. And they make a kit. It's a body drop kit. I'll just put it up right now. And the point of the kit, I guess they've redesigned these brackets to sit lower, so your body will sit lower on the frame. And you get all new brackets from front to back for the rad support, for the cab, for the box, for the bumpers. And it's $800 US. And I really, really want to try it because these are kind of rotted out anyway. We could spend lots of hours repairing them. Or I could get my oh wow, we have a massive storm going by. That's actually a tornado out there in the middle of my video, filling up my Jimmy with dust. That's awesome. Sorry about that. I had to close the bay door. It is blowing like crazy outside. Like I was saying, we could spend lots of hours on these, or I could order a new kit and actually have my truck sit lower, which would probably make the engine stick out of the hood even more, I imagine, which I'm okay with. That doesn't bother me one bit. So I think that's going to be one of the parts I want to try out on this thing. And a couple of the other parts that we're looking at, because they're very inexpensive, is Brothers Truck Parts makes two kits One is a rear end conversion kit for putting a 10 bolt, 12 bolt, or a Ford 9-inch in. And it includes new saddles for the bottom and a new panhard bar. And it means that we have to try out our new Amazon plasma cutter and cut all the brackets off that Ford 9-inch and make that fit under there. And then they also make a cross member, a tubular cross member that has the mounts. I'm not sure where exactly it'll sit, somewhere in the back here. Probably replace this one, I'm guessing. But it has mounts top and bottom. I'm assuming you have to weld them on the rear end, but not a big deal, so that you can swap over to coilovers. And it's under $300 US for the pair of the kits. So I think that'll be the first parts that we try out on this thing, because I love trying parts out. And we'll do a review on them. And because they're so cheap, I imagine they're probably not made that great, not built for huge horsepower. So we can alter them, but we'll do that when they get here. Whenever that is. I'm not sure when that is yet, but that'll be coming shortly. So that's where we're at on the 69 C10. Oh yes, we have to cut these off. Actually, I have a question for you viewers that are used to building these trucks, because this is my first one I've ever built of this era of Chevy pickup. And I noticed the bump stop has a very, very long way to go before it hits the diff. And I would be amazed if someone actually compressed it so much that they hit that diff. I'm wondering how much weight do you have to put in the back of the truck to make those two touch and compress that spring? There's an interesting question I would love to know the answer to. So anyway, those are getting hacked off. Won't need those with the coilovers, and they'll be in the way of the tires. Yes, I would love to be working on this full time, but not quite there yet. Can't quite do that. We have to work on things like those. We just got our Ford box back from the sandblasters. So we got to work on the Ford, pay the bills, and then I can spend a little bit on this. The other thing I noticed on this era of truck, since it's my first one I've ever torn apart, is every single bolt head I have touched from the cab down has been either a 9/16 socket or a 1/2 inch socket. And that's it. I have used 2 sockets on almost everything except for maybe some of the bigger suspension parts. But all of the front suspension was held in by 9/16 headed bolts. And anything like cables, whatever, was all 1/2 inch. That is just awesome. What an awesome truck to take apart and build. I can see why guys get addicted to building these. So there you guys go. That's the update on the shortbox challenge. And the point of the shortbox challenge is to get everybody dragging those short boxes out, and let's build them. Richard, I'm just patiently waiting. Richard's Automotive Workshop. Don't forget to follow him too. I'm patiently waiting to see when he gets started on his short box. He's too busy in Alaska working, but I'll keep waiting, Richard. So thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe.